Well, I want to show you some research I came across about cats, and it's going to ask the question: is CAT FIV curable? So they got a thing. Cats have a thing called FIV. It's called feline immunodeficiency, virus. Okay, and humans have HIV, which is the human immunodeficiency virus, right? So, and maybe the same methods apply. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to be able to go over this like extremely well because I don't understand all the medical terminology. But unlike some of the things that you get off the, by the way, this is Putin the cat when he was 1 year old. Now he's like a little bit over 2. But the thing is, I can't go over this in great detail because I could tell you what they did, but they said, I'll just give you the one caveat right from the beginning. It was an uncontrolled study. Uncontrolled, which means, maybe it wasn't what they did the job, or maybe, they didn't do enough different trials on it, but it does make sense. Now, what they used was potassium iodine. But, the Lugol's potassium iodine, it was basically, and I also want to give you this one caveat on here. The feline or the cat immunodeficiency retrovirus, FIV, is kind of similar in some ways to HIV/AIDS in humans. Now, I can also state that I think a lot of the reasons why cats don't succumb to this disease like the way humans do is because cats produce a lot of vitamin C in their own body. And if you look at some of the words of some of the medical doctors out there, not all of them, they'll tell you that vitamin C is an absolute antiviricide. So it's not as bad for a cat to have FIV as for a human to have HIV, right? But anyway, here's the spiel. They said it was an uncontrolled study. They took an adult cat diagnosed with... Now, none of my cats have this, right? They took an adult cat... he's sleeping in the sink. Putin. He used to like to sleep in there. What the goofball. But they took an adult cat diagnosed with end-stage FIV. End-stage. Like, they had it a long time, right? And he recovered from FIV, and here they are under the Christmas tree. They recovered from FIV within 8 weeks of treatment with a daily oral garbage of commercially available iodine solution like Lugol's potassium iodine. That's the kind you use, right? Of 4 milligrams in 10 milliliters of water. Now, that's a hell of a lot. I can tell you that right now, because I think, let me see what these caps say on them, because the humans take, and you're talking about a big person, takes a hell of a lot less than that for what they considered the recommended daily allowance. That's ridiculous. And like, for instance, I'm looking at these things I have here, 325 micrograms, which is like 0.325 milligrams, like a third of a milligram. That's 217% of the recommended daily allowance on a human. So here they're taking 4 milligrams. I'm like, wow. But then again, I can tell you, if you look way back in some of the studies, actually these are 2 cats underneath here, under this tree. But anyway, if you look back in some of the studies, going way back into the 1800s, people were given, this is Rocky the cat, people were given 100,000 times the amount of iodine that this is the recommended daily requirement today. And I'm like, what gives, man? I know, like, iodine has been given when there's a lot of oxidative stress due to radiation. But you get a lot of oxidative stress due to, like, a bad viral condition, too, right? Now, I'm a layman. I'm giving you just common sense stuff out here, right? As a matter of fact, this has inspired me to put 1 drop of this stuff once in a while in your entire bowl. Now, I know, like, potassium iodine, you can use it as a water purification method in emergency treatment of water. I mean, it's really not like unsafe. You know, if you're just putting a couple drops in like a lot of water, it's probably not bad to take. You know, orally. I mean, it's not unsafe because that's how they actually sterilize water. That, you know, if you think the water supply is unpotable, it's got bacteria in it, you can put some potassium iodine in it, and it can help neutralize a lot of the bad microbes in there. Now this is Rocky on the left, and there's Putin on the right. So, and same thing up here by the shelf. But what they gave this cat a lot of this stuff, man. And I'm not telling you to do this because I don't know. Like they said, it was an uncontrolled study. But here's what it came out to be. Now this was end stage FIV. They checked the cat later on, and they had no indication of FIV, no antibodies. They were tested as FIV negative. And for at least 5 years thereafter, there was no further clinical evidence of disease in the cat, period. 5 years. 5 years on a cat is what, 35 years on a human? Is that some crazy stuff or what? Now, I'm putting this out here like as theoretical, but you know, it's not coming from one of those you know, alternative media freaking testimony. I cured this and I cured that, and then you go, here's a link to my sales of my product and stuff. No, and actually, you know, you don't even need to get the Lugol's brand. It's you know, you can get Equate. I think it's like $6 versus $10. Same thing. And this is Rocky sleeping on top of the computer when I first got him. Little goofball. He was scared back then. Little kid. But anyway, so basically with HIV and FIV infection, the viral load is dependent upon the stage of infection, but predominantly it's in the cells of reticulo endothelial system. Like, I guess they're talking about the lymph system or some crap, you know. But they're theorizing that the lipophilic form of iodine, when ingested orally, so the liposomal type or a lipophilic form of iodine, when ingested orally, may work a lot better as an antimicrobial, antiviral agent because it gets into the chylomicrons and transported via the lymphatic system and can be delivered to the cells of the reticuloendothelial system. Okay? Like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about, right? In other words, it supposedly gets way the hell deep down in there. So Rocky the cat thinks that's a cool idea because he wants to save his fellow cats. I don't know, man. I'm putting this out here because nobody put this out. Nobody puts this information out. Nobody puts this kind of information out. And I'm like, you know, it might be useful. It might be useful. And you know, there's been a lot of things that have been alleged cures for freaking various diseases with iodine. I mean, I know if you get a problem with radiation, you got this oxidative stress and toxins and stuff in your body like crazy. You know, hey man, iodine. What do they give people? Iodine, right? So why is this not so much of a... I don't think it would be an outlandish idea to take some iodine for, you know, you could take like kelp pills and stuff. But kelp doesn't have that much. Like, I gotta tell you, some of the people in the alternative freaking world, man, they'd say to take a hell of a lot more of this iodine. But I can tell you one thing. The Japanese people, now they're not immune to freaking HIV or anything like that, but the Japanese people, they'll take hundreds of times more iodine in their body, in their system, than the Americans do, just by their diet. But they're a lot more healthy than, generally speaking, than American people are, that's for sure. So, it's like I don't know where they come up with this recommended daily allowance. I think the recommended daily allowance is so you don't freaking croak, man. I mean, it's not necessarily like that's like the just stay alive allowance or something like that. It's like, yeah, you need like 500 calories a day to stay alive for a month, so that's all you need or something. I don't know. Yeah. And here's Rocky when he was really shy, hiding behind a freaking the pole. But anyway, I think this is some useful information because it may work like a miracle on cats. But if you got like a cat with end stage FIV, like in other words, the cat looks like it's gonna die, I don't know. This might be worth a try. But I try it in conjunction with working with a veterinary person. And then probably the vet won't like this because maybe it'll put him out of business. But I don't know. Or work with somebody that's like a real cat lover person, because I don't consider cats to be like experimenting with mice. You know what I mean? I would not want to hurt a cat in a million years because I don't want to tell you to do anything wrong. But it did say that it was an available iodine solution, tincture of iodine, 2.5%, and they used 4 milligrams of it in 10 milliliters of water 3 times daily. They did that for 8 weeks, and then it just wiped out the FIV in the cat. And then at least 5 years later, there was no further clinical evidence of the FIV disease in the cat. I don't know. Is that weird or what? I mean, to me, this is outstanding. And, maybe it applies to humans, too. But, maybe just like with, I don't want to tell you what to do. This is all theoretical. I'll just put it that way. Theory. How's that? Because, I can't go freaking run no multi-million-dollar freaking studies out here and figure this crap out. And here's Rocky again. They're going meow. But I can't freaking just prove this stuff. I can't. I'm just giving you some information that it's not like it doesn't make sense though, because they used I'll tell you some more unrelated to this, but where they used higher doses, which were like pretty damn high doses. But then again, it's no more than what a lot of the Japanese get in their diet from seafood. There's Rocky again. They use very high doses of potassium iodine tincture for prostate cancer, ovarian cancer, and breast cancer. And I don't know. I read a lot of different things where it really worked really well. I mean, of course, Angelina Jolie wasn't told that. Of course not, right? She should have listened to Suzanne Summers, man. That lady knows what she's doing. But anyway, I think this is very good information to just. And here he is up on a shelf going, well, I'm scared. But anyway, I think it's that face. You can tell what's going on with him. Yeah, this is when he was really scared, man. Way back when. Help. That's when I first got him. But I don't want to tell you what to do, because I don't have a bunch of studies to back this up. This is just something I read, but it wasn't something on a blogger site. It was something where it was just, it was a more responsible medical site. And there has been a number of miracles that have been performed with higher doses of iodine. And if you look back in the medical literature, going back to like the 1920s and prior, they use a lot higher doses of potassium iodine or Lugol's iodine for everything. Lugol's iodine was basically used for everything under the sun. And here's Rocky. Here he is, airplane ears. This is when he was scared, hiding behind a toolbox. I remember that shit when I first got him. Now he's like, he follows me around everywhere. But, yeah, this picture cracks me up, man. But the thing is, what can I say? What can I say? Can I prove it to you? No, I can't prove it to you. And I'm not telling you what to do. But this looks promising. And it might work on people too, or it might help people too. I suspect it does. Now, if you looked at some of the work of other people about how Lugol's iodine helps with detoxifying the thyroid. I know you can take too much of it too and stuff, and there's different problems. There's limits, but it's so controversial. Like, what is the freaking limit? What's the limit? What is safe? I mean, I've read things where people were taking, in the alternative thing, 100,000 times the recommended daily allowance. 100,000 times, not 100,000%. Now, I wouldn't tell somebody to do that because that freaking sounds flaky to me too. Okay, but I'm beginning to suspect that in certain. Well, I want to actually just alert you to this, because if you got a cat and they're ready to, if they have FIV and they're not doing too well and they had their FIV for a long period of time, I don't want to tell you what to do, but I want to kind of alert you to, they might have something out there that freaking works like a miracle. And, if you wonder why they didn't tell you about this, I don't know. I mean, I could tell you there's a lot of stuff back in the medical literature back from the 20s and earlier that people used to do. When they first discovered vitamin D2, the plant form, and they're giving it to people like crazy, it was helping people out a lot. But they'll tell you it's way too much to take today. I don't know. But, under certain circumstances, sometimes... And I could quote Harvard studies where they say like extra vitamins are bad for you, they're unhealthy, and then I could quote other studies that say they're miracle cures. And I don't know what the actual truth is. I mean, maybe I think I know, but I can't prove it to you what I think the actual truth is. Okay, I can't prove it to you. And I can tell you this too: just beware, because you notice I'm kind of beating around the bush. I'm not really giving you like, this is the deal. Somebody's going to get mad at me. Just get to the point and just freaking tell me what it is. Well, I can't freaking just tell you what it is, because it's probably illegal for me to tell you just what it is. I drop hints when I freaking do these videos. I probably do know a lot more than what I'm saying, okay? I drop hints. I'll tell you that right now. Some people get pissed off. You go, well, I watched all this. And most people don't, but there's always one or two out there. And I'm saying to those people, I'm dropping hints. I think I know what the answer is. But I'm not going to freaking lead somebody astray. I'm just going to point to the information. And, I'll just tell you that they did supposedly do this with one cat that had advanced end-stage FIV. And they gave an iodine solution, tincture of iodine solution of 2.5%, 4 milligrams and 10 milliliters of water 3 times daily for 8 weeks. And the cat was cured of freaking FIV. 5 years later, there was no trace of it, period. Now, am I making a freaking endorsement guarantee here? No, I don't know. But I'm finding this interesting because... when I come across some of these things, there's a lot of stuff out there that's like pretty freaky that they got buried in the medical literature. And what the real deal is, well, it's almost like what happened when Nikola Tesla told J.P. Morgan, I'm going to provide free electricity to the whole world. What did J.P. Morgan say? Maybe you think that's bullshit. Maybe you couldn't do that. Remember with the Wardenclyffe Tower? And he had a way to freaking, get free energy out of the cosmos, or maybe it's not free energy, but you know how to tap into this universal energy. You can transmit it wirelessly. And what did J.P. Morgan say? What's in it for me? How much money am I going to make off it? You mean these people are going to get this stuff for free and I can't charge them? Screw you. Funding's done. Now, tell me medical doesn't have business people on the top that don't think the same way. They all do. So you're not going to convert them. But then again, I'm beating around the bush on this for a specific reason. Because I don't flat out know about it. I don't flat out know this is 110% true. I suspect it is because I've seen a lot of results on prostate cancer, ovarian cancer, breast cancer, extreme radiation poisoning from Chernobyl. They used to give iodine for oxidative stress, And iodine is actually known as a strong antimicrobial. So, if it can get down in the lymph system, right where the virus is, everywhere, I don't know. I don't know. But according to this one thing I'm reading here, it worked like a miracle on a cat with end-stage FIV. So if your cat is ready to die from FIV, there ain't nothing you could do. I don't know. I mean, it's me personally. I don't want to tell you what to do because I really don't want to hurt a cat. I don't want to be experimenting with a cat. I do not think of cats as experimental lab animals. I like cats. But if it was my cat and a cat had FIV and it was ready to die and it was in pain and it was feeling bad, I personally would try this, but that's my personal decision. So that's all I'm telling you on this, okay? So, I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. Maybe it's not worth nothing. Maybe it's worth something. But it's the best I can do. And I research. I tell you what, I literally I study more than doctors. Even though I'm not a doctor, I probably study more than doctors. And I don't know what some of these big terms are, but I look for things in the medical literature that are not being told to people. And I put them out there as, a possibility. I'll put it that way, a possibility. So, I don't know. I really don't know, okay? Can't guarantee you nothing, that's for sure. So, but, for your informational purposes only, and, I think it's important information. So, take it for what it's worth.